Alright, what's good, y'all? It's your famous turned up host Soto, man, here with another episode of Mental Health Mondays, the podcast. I got my co-host over there, man. Y'all should know him already, man. Let them know who you is, dog.
Man, it's Dirty Eagle, man. It's the host with the most. I'm still in titles around here. The host with the most. The host with the most.
Hey, I'm definitely still in the title because I'm your baby mama's favorite host. You talking about, so like...
On the game.
So this Mental Health Mondays, bro, this is episode 4.
Yeah.
Episode 4, man. So we've been doing this thing for 4 freaking episodes, man. And this month is Mental Health Month. Men's Mental Health Month, right? So we got a lot of men that's out here that's dealing with mental health. You know what I'm saying? This is the month to celebrate us and the mental health that we're going through. So we got a special guest in the building. Go ahead and
Isn't it ironic though that they got me in? They got me as a guest host for mental health because I'm crazy. Like a dog with rabies. Somebody saved me. I remember watching Arthur, Miss McGrady. She was cooking up stuff crazy. I'm just joking, but it's Ocho Mexico. What up, y'all? It's Ocho Mexico. What up, y'all? You know what I'm saying? Ocho Mexico, Gocho, whatever. You feel me? I'm here, baby. A lot of y'all know me as Ola back in the day, though. You know, I'm still
OLA. We call you OLA.
I'm still, you know what I'm
He's still OLA.
I'm still, you know, everybody, Big Red and all that, everybody still call me Ola. But anyway, Mental Health Mondays.
Hey, so today we got a topic, man, that I know a lot of us deal with, a lot of us go through, especially us as men. We don't really like to talk about it, but it's 2021, man. I think a lot of us are now starting to wear our heart and like wear our feelings on our sleeves and shit.
Redemption.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like we redemption now, especially with COVID and the pandemic. Chicago is fully open back up. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Uncle Lightfoot. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Uncle Lightfoot.
Hey, Chicago like your baby mama. No, just playing.
So shout out to Uncle Lightfoot, man, because she got it. She made it up for us, man. So it's Depression Week, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I've been going through depression since 2015. You know what I'm saying? So it's been like a struggle every day going through depression. I think the only reason how I get up over it is helping other people with their depression. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna start off with my boy, Ocho Cinco.
Who the hell is Ocho Cinco?
Hey, Ocho Cinco.
Who the hell is Ocho Cinco?
Hey, Ocho Cinco, he was the football player. He a boxer now.
Nah,
No, for the Ocho says Ocho Mexico.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we know. But what was the thing? What was the thing?
Hey, so we talking about depression, man. So,
Oh yeah, so depression. I'm gonna say this. So I'll say make a general statement about depression and how I deal with depression.
Yeah.
So everybody go through depression. You know what I mean? So the way I deal with depression, because everybody got deal with depression different. Some people kind of like hide from the rest of the world. They kind of go inside of a shell. Me, my depression comes from just wanting to be better and not being satisfied with myself. So, you know what I mean? So if I feel depressed, I go harder type of stuff. You know what I mean? I transmute my depression into progression. If that makes sense.
Oh, hey, that's how you know we got artists in the building, man, because they be trying to play on words and shit, man.
I said,
like, yeah, trying to play on words. What you say to
bar.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna give you credit one time and then it's all mad.
So, a quick question before we really get into it, man. When did depression start for you, man? And like, when did you notice?
Depression started for me from when I was Let me tell you, I'm gonna give y'all something I don't share with the rest of the world. Okay, I was in the Navy, so I was like 20 years old. I had everything that 20. That's young as shit.
Mm-hmm.
Or can I curse? That's young.
Young as shit.
I was young, right?
Okay.
So I had everything that I wanted. You know what I'm saying? I had my own crib. I had a car. I had everything you wanted, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't enough. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing because I still felt like it was something missing. You know what I mean? And I always felt like it was something missing. And all the way up until, let's say, 2016 type of situation, right? It's like no matter what, it was always something missing until I started making music. So I feel like depression comes from you. That's your body naturally that's your spirit naturally telling your body that you're not doing what you're supposed to do. So when you're depressed, that's because your subconscious telling you that you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Like, we all here for a reason. We all here, we all want to do something. They say a dream, we don't got to call it a dream. We all here for a purpose. Because dreams is a dream. People say dream and they make it sound like it's something that's unattainable.
Yeah.
So we all here with a purpose. So if you're not living to what makes you tick, you're going to be depressed.
Yeah.
Because you're supposed to be here to do something. And if you're not doing what you really want to do, you're going to be depressed. You know what I mean? No matter how hard it is. You know what I mean? I'd rather be tired, fatigued, than dying than depressed. Because depressed, you're going to feel worse than that.
Right. And that's a good segue into what depression is, right? So let's say depression is a depressed mood or lost in interest in activities, like you being lazy, you don't do nothing, man. Like you just not really being your normal self, and like you just want to lay down in the house all day. You want to, like you said, escape from reality. You don't want to be outside. You don't want nobody talking shit to you. You don't want nobody, because like you probably exposed. You know what I'm saying? So that's what depression is, right? And it's a lot of different areas of depression, right? So one of them is abuse, right? We know what abuse is, right? It can be mental, it can be physical, like somebody beating your ass or some shit, like domestic violence, or it can be, you know what I'm saying, just whatever you're doing to your body that's not healthy to your body, right? So you can probably be abusing your body right now. We can probably be doing it right now when we're drinking this alcohol, right? But we'll think that it is something physical, but really it's mental. You know what I'm saying?
Like imagine being a bird that can't fly. Like, you know what I'm saying? And look, and humans, and this is why humans go through depression, because we got free will. So we got that choice. We're not like other living organisms, you feel me? Like birds and animals, they got a regimen. They cannot, you know what I mean? Birds, they do, you know how animals move, plants and other living organisms.
Everybody got their functions.
But humans, we blessed to be at the top of the top, you know what I mean? We at the top of the top. And with that top of the top, we get a gift, which is the curse, and that's free will. So you decide to do whatever you want to do. But at the end of the day, we're no different from animals and any other living organism. We here for a reason. But we got a choice to not do that reason. And guess what? You can do whatever you want to do, but if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, that's your
ass.
That's your punishment. Depression gonna be your punishment. And you're gonna want to kill yourself.
You know, one of the things you said earlier that I spoke on a few times is
you a deep. You an artist, so you deep.
One of the things that you said a little bit earlier that I hit on a few different times is one of the things that helped me most was the ability to write music. You know, we're blessed because we're able to express ourselves and get that out. The average person, they don't know how to. They don't keep a journal. They don't write stuff down. They feel, especially in our community,
it's corny. They probably feel, you know, feel the type of way.
Or they may not even know how to.
I was just going to say that, because they never been taught.
They never been taught, get it out. So, you know, we're blessed because we have the ability to express ourselves, and not only do we write it out, we verbally say it.
Facts.
And then once we confess that, we get that shit off our shoulders.
We the number one, bro. What people don't understand, the power as artists, bro. Everybody want to be us. Everybody want to be us, bro. We like the number one in the world. You feel me? Like, I'm talking politics. I'm talking anything, athletes, politics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whatever we say, people want to be like that. People want to be like us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I'm about to go into something deep.
So like I can relate to it. Like I'm not an artist, but I am a radio personality, and so like my thing to escape from depression is to get on the radio to like do this podcast shit. Right?
Yeah.
So let's say like. Man, fuck you. Hey, so let's say abuse, man. Say physical, sexual, or emotional abuse can make you more vulnerable to depression later on in life, right? So it can be something that happened to you when you was a little kid, right? Like somebody probably be getting sexually assaulted, you know what I'm saying, by a family member, or they getting treated differently than their parents. Like I got definitely treated differently than all my other siblings and shit, right? So that's what contributed to my mental health. But again, like I said last week, I didn't know what depression was, or I didn't know what mental health was growing up with it, because we wasn't taught that shit in school. Right. You know what I'm saying? So like growing up and knowing, and now at the age of 30, that shit really started to hit you like, damn, I was really going through this shit. Yeah. And so like when you go to therapy for the shit that you've been through, it just makes you dig deeper into shit that you never would have thought that you, like something that's like a blur to you, right? Shit's like a blur. Alright? Then it say age, right? It say people who are elderly are at a higher risk of
Real
depression.
quick before you go into that, can you imagine being like a little black boy, somebody fucking
Look how
with
you
you?
say it.
No, for real, no, being a little
Black boy.
being a little black boy, a little kid fucking with you, right? And then your mom and daddy said, "Shut the fuck up with your soft ass.
You soft little bark
as
ass
fuck.
bitch."
Shut your punk
Nah.
ass." But you know what happens is,
what I told you last week,
yeah.
though.
So you know you're mad.
No, that's really how
That's
how
how it
it's
goes,
growing up.
because-
Like our upbringing is like if come on, we know how it goes. That's the cliche. You cry, you soft.
Right.
And that's just not even from adults. That's from the peers.
Yeah.
Our peers, like
Our
man,
peers, the adults.
listen, look. If you cry, listen, you know what they call it, the F bomb.
Yeah.
If you cry, you that word. You feel me? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you
nah,
tweaking,
so-
you that. You
Now
know what I'm
imagine
saying?
this,
You
though.
walk with a twitch.
But now imagine this though. So you're a little kid, you want to express yourself. Your natural thing is to express yourself, but everybody around you is telling you soft for expressing yourself. So when you grow up, how the fuck do you express yourself?
You know what an older person said? Man, I listen to gangster music. I don't listen to this new music.
Yeah.
That's emo. It's the same. That's just really just the mentality of what we're going through.
But I think it's funny that you said that because later on in the show we're gonna be discussing this. A 13-year-old boy who tried to commit suicide 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? From like bullying and shit. He died like a couple of days ago. So we're gonna get into that. You know what I'm saying? Throughout the show. People who are elderly are at a higher risk of depression that can be made worse by other factors such as living alone and having a lack of social support.
Can I tell you this?
What's up?
I'm gonna give you something right quick.
Hey, if it's a rap, if it's a
Yeah, I don't
rap,
get no rap
we
no
ain't
rap.
got the time.
Nah.
I'm just like-
I'm gonna say this. I know we don't got the time, but if I get to the age of 79, I don't think I'll be feeling fine. Cause I'm gonna be old. I probably
You might be looking
fine.
fine, but yeah, you know what?
I wasn't even gonna do it, but you made me do it.
So you think about an older person, you know, a lot of them just get neglected.
That is a fact.
This is what I hate, right?
They get thrown into the homes and shit, or their family don't visit them.
And I seen it a lot in the black community because, like, what's funny is while our grandparents are in a state, or not even grandparents, but when our older people in our family are in a state of being transitioning from age 50 to 55 to 60 to 60 to 70, like, we'll try to use them as like the babysitter. Right? But when they get older, we try to get them a babysitter, and we don't want to deal with them. You know what I'm saying? And so that shit deep as hell, right? So I don't got kids, so I be despising people that just like, you just want to go kick it. Okay, cool. I know you want to kick it, right? But like, what the fuck is Granny going to do? Granny 73, 74, 75. Granny want to finish living her life. Granny life can be right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, she don't want to live it. Even though she love her grandbabies, and she might say like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll watch my grandbaby, but deep down inside, mental health shit, she wants some time for herself.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
She
So
gonna
like,
be twerking at me.
But you know, but and
It was
think
it.
about, it's also a cultural thing.
Yeah.
I grew up in a Mexican neighborhood, a little village out west, right? And the Mexicans, they don't stick their family in senior citizen homes. Man, everybody get together. There'll be 10 of them living in the crib. They all get
hey,
together.
but you know what I see though? They be bogus for having their grannies and their granddads driving slow as fuck in front of you on the streets. Okay, like
Causing your mental health.
Right, so they causing your mental health to be like, they causing you to be irate.
Man, don't mess my mental
And
health
have
up, man.
PTSD because they want to drive slow. And so like you think you're, and then look, now you got anxiety yourself thinking that when you get their
Now
age,
you got
you're gonna be
road
doing the same
rage.
thing.
Now you wanna
know what I'm saying?
Now you want to blink.
They ain't even open the blink, they open their cane like they gonna put that shit
You know
in
they
their
got
hand,
weapons
like,
inside. They got cane.
Shit,
What?
them old folks.
Hey, in 2021 they shooting.
We talking about 2021 like they was doing shit today.
They was doing that
But
shit for a
look, check
long
this out.
time.
Another interesting fact. It's funny how like everything that we saying is kind of like getting to like the next point of what's actually in it. So it's a certain medications, right? So it's a some drugs, you know what I'm saying, and some drugs can increase your risk of depression. So you know with age comes sickness, right?
Sure.
So you gotta take a lot of these medications, which kind of fucking with your mental health because when you take medication, you kind of trying to do some shit to heal you from something that can be messing your body up, right? And so that drug is kind of influencing you to be depressed, right? So that's why I always preach And all episodes, if y'all watch it, if y'all are huge supporter of Mr. Mondays the podcast, guess what? Alright? Don't use alcohol or drugs to suppress your depression because what? It's gonna make it even worse. Right? You know what I'm saying? So
I need another drink. What if I told you it was a propaganda?
Spell propaganda.
I'm gonna do propaganda. I'm gonna make a real rap too.
Right.
You know, I do this. But no, though, you know what I'm saying? But honestly, though, bro, no, man, this depression. This not conspiracy theory. So, you know what I'm saying? We don't need that at all.
That's another episode.
Whenever y'all had that episode, it should be episode 8, Ocho.
Again.
My true episode.
Right, again.
The 8th episode, that would have been dope.
Ocho 8. You know?
But you know what? Speaking of medication, one thing I really hated is when we had kids that's really young and they just hyper. A lot of times they're hyper because they're not getting the proper education.
Yeah.
They may not really be interested in that particular subject and bored with it. So
and that's the beginning of depression when you're not interested in what you're supposed to be interested in. And you don't even.
I'm finna go eat with different. I'm finna go eat with for y'all. You
know what the first thing they want to do?
What's up?
Get that boy ripped, man. First thing they want to do is give him some drugs to calm him down, take him out of his natural state, and that's the beginning of how it all starts. You put that kid on that shit, and it alters their chemical balance for the rest of their life.
But guess what they're doing now, though?
And guess what? On top of that, bro. Guess what? On top of that, they do, bro. Do you know the schools get paid for the children who are put on that medication?
See, that's good. That's
they
one of that conspiracy.
They get prescribed that medicine, and the schools get paid.
That's what another episode.
For that shit.
That's
so serious, though.
But see, what's crazy is that like what you saying about like the teachers and shit, they influence in this next story about the little boy, the 13-year-old boy committed suicide. You know what I'm saying? So like, what it's even crazier that right. This is why I'm finna go deep with this shit, right? I don't know. But we finna go deep with this shit, okay? So
you a Pisces?
I'm an Aries.
For sure.
But they ain't got nothing to do with it.
That's a conspiracy.
That's a conspiracy. Hey, this is a blooper like a motherfucker. The action that goes on behind the scenes does not continue through mental health. The fucking podcast.
Laugh. It's healing. It's healing.
Oh shit, man. Yeah. But so, like I was saying, like, what's even sadder is that, man, like you said, they give the kids Ritalin.
Yeah.
In 2021, it's not Ritalin no more. It's melatonin.
Oh, you know what I'm saying?
Melatonin is a drug, y'all.
Hey, I'm about to get shorty something. Yeah. Hey, baby, don't
they be knocking out.
I got good gummy bears for you.
I got an edible. It's credible.
I got baby edibles. Fight through this.
I'm trying to watch a movie, baby.
So another thing is conflict. Right, we all know what conflict is, but for it's some people in 2021 that ain't been to school. They go to Urban Dictionary and Google for everything. You know what I'm saying? So conflict. It's a depression is someone who has the biological vulnerability to it may result from personal conflict or disputes with family members and friends. Right. So with me, right, I don't felt like I said episode 2. I ain't friend with my mom, she just be my ass. Right? That's number 1. But I fought my grandma. Me and my uncle flipped each other over the banister. I fought my auntie.
Out the front porch.
Like just the front porch right here.
Oh, no, it was like a Mortal Kombat scene.
It wasn't like a long ass house, right? And this the porch right here, and we falling all the way down there. I'm skinny, so like I wasn't going though. I was like a skinny nigga that was like.
Yeah, you couldn't afford to hit your bones on the ground.
Yeah. So
let me see that.
How do conflict in your life contribute to your depression?
How does conflict contribute to my depression?
So in your life?
Hold on, in my life, of course not nobody else's, right? Conflict. Hold on, wait. I love that question. Like I just love the way it sounds. How does conflict contribute to my depression in my life? Conflict. You want to hear something crazy, bro? I'm weird. Conflict. It means something different to me. You know what I mean? Conflict, because it's like I got a one track.
Let me rephrase this. So, what is conflict to you, and how does your definition of conflict
is friction?
So, how does that contribute to your mental health?
Like I said, remember what I told you earlier? So we're gonna circle back. When I say I transmute my depression into progression, so conflict is basically something that makes me, what conflict means to me is like doubt. Because it's like I'm on a mission right now. So I feel like in doubt, somebody like, man, they doubting me, or somebody trying to, go against me or something like that. It just makes me, I gotta be better as a person. I gotta be better as a person. I gotta be better at whatever I'm doing to get conflicted against type of situation. You feel me? So conflict, my mental health, it makes me crazy as hell. I ain't gonna lie, it make me kind of like, it makes you angry. I ain't gonna lie, like I'm not as like, this about to be personal right now. Like I'm gonna say, like from when bro first, even when you first met me, it's a difference. It's a big difference.
4 years ago.
4 years,
4
like
years
probably
ago.
more 20, maybe at the end of 2016, the beginning of 2017, when I first jumped in this. You know what I mean? I was,
fresh.
I'm in dreads like kook. But you know what I'm saying? Money growing like my hair. I know it ain't fair. Your girl like me, I don't care. You hear me? No, but all jokes aside, right? So. Bro always asks me like, bro, you doing okay? You doing good?
Always.
But he always checks.
My spirit
bro.
just hit me like and I just say something.
Like,
But you know what he did? You know what he did though?
What?
Checked on his strong friend.
That's right.
For sure. Like they always check on me, and I always kind of, I tell them what I tell them. But at the end of the day, like I'm telling you, I can tell you now on camera in person that this is just part of my walk. You know what I mean? Everybody got their own walk and they got their own path. This is part of my walk. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I've been through a lot of things, and I've seen a lot of things, and I felt a lot of things since the first time that we interacted, and you know what I mean? So I'm on the walk right now, you know what I mean? Because of conflict, and a lot of conflict, you know what I mean? Because the better you get, remember they say every level is a new devil, a bigger devil. So as I elevate and hit these new levels, the devils get bigger than ever. And I gotta get bigger than ever, and I gotta continue to get better. And by me getting better, sometimes that kind of, your peace of mind can't be the same. Imagine being a president. You gotta understand, the bigger the title that you have, the bigger the purpose, the bigger the burden.
Yeah.
That shit sounds so fucking good. I'm really saying
Your ass
this.
just sound like Kendrick Lamar.
Shout
But that's
out
the
to
creative side in you as an artist, right? Because I only heard this nigga Dirty Eagle, like I seen this nigga on set, I seen this nigga perform in clubs and shit. But like actually like,
And I'm gonna say this.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's different. That's
Yeah, look, even listening to music, right? Even listening I'm a type of person that like, I don't just listen to like the beat, right? I listen to the beat first, but then like I listen to the words and shit, right? So that's why I'm like a huge fan of Nicki Minaj. Shout out to Nicki. It's saying no endorsement, okay? But yeah, it's like when you listen to the words of a song, you start to fuck with it more, and you start to like feel the pain of whatever the artist is going through.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and then you find out really more about an artist through their music, right? So it's like, it's not saying that whatever y'all, like when we meet in person, that it's a front, but it just become more layered whenever you describe it in your music. Because guess what? Music is y'all motherfucking therapy, right? So like,
exactly. That's a whole fact.
Therapy,
That's a whole fact.
So,
So
you know what I'm saying?
I mentioned this before. Conflict. Since I got shot in Christmas Eve 2016,
It came from conflict.
it came from not even my conflict. You
But
feel
it
me?
came from a conflict.
That's
came
even
from
more
it.
of a conflict when the
But-
conflict don't come from your conflict.
You feel me?
You feel me? I feel that.
Now, ever since then, I'm gonna be honest with you. Since I got shot in on Christmas Eve 2016, as soon as I sense the slightest conflict coming from a person, I push them out my life. And the reason being is because I don't want to get hurt no more. Now I'm comfortable enough saying that at this point in my life, I don't want to get hurt. The last time I got hurt like that almost cost me my life. So the moment I see the slight, like if you start moving a little bit different, and I notice it, everybody else might not notice it. They'll catch it later on. But I see that shit, and I'll stop fucking with you altogether. I won't say hi to you. I won't like shit you got going on. None. I just completely push you the fuck out my life because I do not want you having the ability to hurt me no more. You know what I mean? So I don't deal with conflict no more. I'll cut my family members off. You know what I'm saying? Immediately, if I feel like there's a situation where, you know what I'm saying, maybe I feel there's a situation that maybe they may do me wrong, or they move a little bit different. I didn't deserve for you to do that to. I don't deserve for you to do different, nigga. You feel me? So I cut them off. That's how I deal with conflict. I just say fuck it.
You just say fuck
Cause
it.
listen, cause that's living organ, like I say, like that's one of the things. Like, you know, we got free will, but we also retain our instincts. You feel me?
Yeah.
So our instincts is to, like you said, you know that's gonna hurt you. What an animal do when they feel an enemy or they know something that can end their
Fight
life?
or
They gonna fight or they gonna leave.
Or flight,
they gonna
fight or flight.
Fight or flight. So you know what you're gonna do. You know you're gonna have to remove that situation from your life.
Right. Or I'm gonna have to fight.
But you don't have to fight because you're smart.
And guess what that is, though? Guess what that is?
It's a fight or a flight.
Yes.
It's like when you're in a situation where a motherfucker get ready to upstrap on you. You either gonna try to run from a nigga, or if he close enough, I'm gonna grab this motherfucker. Right. If you too close to me, I ain't no running, nigga. Somebody gonna get dead today.
So what?
It ain't gonna be me.
It ain't gonna be
At the end
me.
of the day,
God willing.
what y'all just said, it's another form of mental health, anxiety.
Yeah. What we just talked about last
You know what I'm saying? It's anxiety, right? Which leads me to the next point, right? Which is gender. So it's 2 points. Gender, and you get depressed from your genius, right? So it's a women are about twice as likely as men to become depressed.
I believe that.
No one's as sure why the hormonal changes that women go through at different times of their lives might play a role, right? Check this out.
Question.
I know you can relate. You got a kid, right? And I know you can. No, you don't.
I mean, a lot
Team
of
no
these
kids.
a lot of these rap niggas.
But you got a kid, right?
Well, fuck you.
Hey, you got a kid, right?
I got a phone.
You got four. So imagine.
Fuck you 4 times.
Look, I got sisters, right? So I just noticed how my sister act before she's pregnant, right?
Yeah.
And I know how they act after like when she's pregnant.
There is major differences. Like I would say 4 stages of a woman's life that they hormonal balance completely changes.
But we're gonna say that shit for women's health.
We got look.
But I mean, we're talking about
Yeah,
it.
they go.
Regular. So the first one is when they hit puberty, when they first start to get their damn double cup. When they first start to get to you know the body development. Right now, my daughter's 9. She's going through all type of changes in her life. You know, she's developing. She's getting growing pains. And then I have an older daughter who's 18. So when she changed and got her period, completely fucking
check this
demonic
out.
human being.
Check this
You know
out.
what I mean?
Now that 9-year-old, she gonna be a problem.
She a gangster.
She's a gangster.
Yeah,
Like
gangster.
I ain't talking about a 50 Cent gangster.
Nah,
I'm talking about like a Megan or a Nicki or
Hey, hold on now.
you know.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like,
I'd say a Michelle Obama gangster.
I was thinking about like, Obla. Oh, hold on, Obla. Obla.
So I learned a lot of people think that reality TV shows are bad for your health. A lot of people think that reality TV shows that you can't learn nothing from reality TV show, but I learned about postpartum depression from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta season 4 with somebody that was in Diddy Dirty Money Game. Her name was Kalina, and she was dealing with that shit with her husband. So when I found out that and she was dealing with that shit, that's when I really started to like do my research and my homework on what the fuck postpartum depression was with women. So that's funny that like you got a wife. I don't got no wife. I got sisters, and I don't know what to deal with. But I know they baby daddy be going through it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I deal with other people's baby mamas.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Maybe I can't do that on
But,
camera because I'm joking.
You're a good guy, man. Don't put that.
I can't do that because I don't need that image.
But they don't fuck with their baby daddy. They don't fuck with their baby daddy anyway. So
Man, listen, dead weight.
So check this out though, right? It's dead weight, right?
Dead weight.
Dead weight. I'm glad you just said that, right? Dead weight, which brings us to our next point. You know what I'm saying? It's a death or loss. So a sadness or grief after the death of a loss of a loved one naturally can increase the risk of depression, right? So like, I know you, and I know you, we all have dealt with shit where we had somebody that we was close to in the family. Like we were just talking about last episode. We were just talking about like our grandmas, how shit changed drastically after that shit, right?
Yeah.
So you got somebody that's close to you that passed away, and now you feel like that one, that you could have texted that person that did something different in order for you to be with them.
Oh, that's just
2,
hard.
you know what I'm saying? Like you felt like that you could have been there with them in their last moments. Or 3, you feel like your last words to them was some bullshit, like y'all was into it or some shit like that, right?
That's the worst.
So like that's the worst, and that's why I said this shit is getting deep, right? Because check this out, right? My homie, he died last year of COVID, right? But like a year and a half before that, we was into it over some shit that it was that nigga fault, right? Some loyal shit. So it was like after that we was like trying to like rebuild the relationship, but I'm always the type of person that'd be like, I bet our relationship would never be the same. We could come back cool, but our relationship would never be the same, right? So then like every time I went to where we used to work at, I used to always like talk to him and shit like that, like trying to repair the relationship. And then like I'm like the summertime coming up, boom. Then the summertime is when he passed away. So it had me felt some type of way, like damn, I wish that I could have, you know what I'm saying? I wish that we would never got into it, and then we could have probably been enjoying each other, like and like having a lot of times together. So rest in peace to Monterio. So like I can really accept that shit. You know what I'm saying? And COVID, that shit is not nothing to play with. He was 27, 26, 27.
So that's that. But everybody know, you feel me? They like, oh man, y'all niggas can't go.
See, I know somebody, my man's Dion died from COVID. You know what I'm saying? He was only 32, 33 years old. You know what I mean? But you know what, going with what you're saying, man, you know, when I lost my dad when I was real young, music. This last album I just did, man, I got a song called Documentary of a Bastard, right? So it addresses,
I'll hear that.
Documentary of a Bastard.
So could we be bastard because we don't have...
No, legit. That's how I feel. Like a bastard, a person who's fatherless.
We're gonna be honest. It is
fatherless, right? So with me growing up, my father was murdered when I was like 4 years old, 4 years old.
So who made that word? They some assholes.
What bastard?
Yeah,
but you gotta remember, people take a word and they spin it to make it a negative. Like nigga is an ignorant person. That was a definition before they used it and flipped it to make it a negative, and then we flipped it and made it something universally acceptable.
Up, my nigga?
Right, you see,
you know, they used to say
we use it as like a term of endearment.
Exactly.
Just like women use the word bitch
as a term of endearment for one another, not us.
Because you heard what Megan said. She said,
get that goofy.
Right. Megan said, you might as well call me a bitch anyway. You might as well call me a bitch because that's what you're going to call me when you get mad at me anyway.
Right.
So they learning to embrace what we as men had said to, or just like you just said, like with the nigga shit, we learned to embrace what
and flip it. We took that power
and make it positive.
I feel like this. I feel like it's some type of missing piece of history between that. I want to know what was the real thing. That's what they told us. But I feel like it's something, that moment. I wish I was there for that moment.
So just quickly, right?
Hold on, let me tell you. So the documentary Bastard, like I said, when it comes to the music, that whole song is pretty much just basically saying, if my father was still here, would I still be the same way that I am? Would I would have had the kids by the woman that I had kids with?
See, that's deep.
You see what I'm saying?
That's like butterfly effect. Y'all ever saw that?
Yes.
I feel like, matter of fact, everybody on this should go. If y'all never heard of this movie, and I know a lot of y'all never heard of this movie, it's called Butterfly Effect.
I heard of it.
Star of the movie was Ashton Kutcher. And you know he's a comedian back in the day.
That was a hell of a movie.
But that was like, bro, like that movie, like that bro changed that. I said that, bro. That movie will change the life and the way you think about things. Because people always say, oh, if I could have did this different and this, that different, you would be a completely different person. Listen, everybody watch that. They should be paying me. Never mind.
No,
so
endorsement.
This endorsement is not a part of Dirty Eagle, Zoto Entertainment, or Mental Health Monday. This
what you see up here? Zoto Entertainment, Zoto Lost.
Right. This is all Ocho Mexico's thoughts.
So check this out.
Damn, you gonna put it out on me?
Check this out. Before we get up out of here, though, quickly, what is depression to you, and what has been your struggles with depression? It's a three-part question. So, what is depression to you, right? What has been your struggles with depression? And how did you overcome your depression?
Depression to me is the inability to effectively move through life without allowing things to be let go. So it could be something that had happened to you when you were a child that you may not even know how to let go. It could be something that you're going through in a personal relationship that you can't let go. It could be a death of somebody you can't let go. But whatever it is not allowing you to live your life to your full potential.
Yeah, but it's still arise. What was your struggles with depression, and how did you manage to suppress your, like, what did you do to help you with your depression?
Growing up, being in the same house as my father when he was murdered, I just became a bully. You know what I mean? I didn't know how to express myself verbally.
Episode 3, we talked about it.
I didn't know how to express myself verbally, so I ended up just fighting everybody I could possibly fight. which kind of separated me from everybody because then nobody want to be around me. Every time they turn around, I'm whooping somebody ass, some crazy shit like that.
That's a light skin shit. I was in Chris Brown and Drake.
Or because of the relationship I had with my mom, I had a hard time respecting women. I just wanted some pussy and some head. I don't really want I didn't know how to build a relationship with a woman because I'd never seen a healthy relationship with a woman. So the entire time it's suppression because you don't know how to deal with depression. Everything's suppressed. Then from that to being ran over by a car, never got help therapy with that. Being shot, never got help therapy with that. And honestly, never got help at all. So every day I battle with it. And like I said, I think episode 3 and 4, if it wasn't for the wife, I probably would have checked out a long time ago.
Right.
Wife and music, and I won't say all the kids, because some of them little motherfuckers I don't like. But no,
You heard it here first.
Truth be told, wife,
And they know which ones. I'll just
wife, music, kids is what has truly helped me.
Help you cope with it.
Man, because without that, especially with music, because even with the wife, you don't really want to be as open, even with your significant other, because that's just how we're trained to be.
And then use it against you. Hey, mental health month.
Men's mental
Health month.
Just June.
Okay. So check this out, right?
What was the third part of your question?
So the third, you already asked it. What was your ways to cope with it, right?
There you go.
So it's my turn.
Got the eagle, baby. He got the eagle eye. You
got
feel
the
me? He
eagle
already
eye.
answered that question. See, that's why his name Dirty Eagle. You a dirty muck now. Hey,
You're a dirty eagle. That's what you
I'm a dirty eagle.
Get
that man a bell.
So check this out, right? So my depression, like I said, like I always experience anxiety, right? Throughout my whole life, that shit's still going on right now. Look at my hands. See them bitch shaking?
What's up, my boy?
You know what I'm saying? This is like,
That's
check
how
this
you
out,
do
right? So like, my shit started in 2016, right, with my ex-girlfriend, right? So we was in a relationship from 2009 to 2015, right? I was only 19 when we got into this shit. So imagine like moving into somebody's house 2 or 3 days after y'all meeting each other because that person couldn't be left alone by themselves because they had abandonment issues.
Oh wow.
Right? Which stem from their mom being on
Yeah.
what typically happens in the black community.
Yeah.
Right? So like I always been the type of person, like, even though I know I'm Soto, even though I know Alonzo, don't laugh at my name because I'm not get last up like Perry Debo. You know what I'm saying?
Brick?
But even though, yeah, with the brick. So even though I know who I am or like how I am, like, I wear my heart on my sleeve and I've always been that person. So like I'm borderline Pisces and like Aries. Aries is like the hard interior side of me. Pisces is like, oh, come here, baby. Oh, move in. So I was that Pisces side. So I was doing that shit, right?
Yeah.
So even though I had my mom in my life, I wanted to make sure that my ex knew that even though you don't got your mom in your life, my mom can be your mom. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever it has to be. Or I'm going to just be here for you just so you can be good, right? So we spent 5 years together, all right? After we broke up, I was the cause of the breakup, right?
But you knew that, Zodo.
Cheated, but it's for another
You damn dirty dog.
So I'm a dirty eagle.
Don't do that.
I'm a dirty eagle. How about that? I'm a dirty eagle. How about that?
Dirty Nueve.
But check this out. This is where the
Nueve.
interesting part come in at, right? So I just thought, because even though my ex, I heard after the fact that my ex was doing that, it was just like, just in that present moment, I knew that I fucked up, but I wasn't old enough or I wasn't in like the right state of mind to be like, all right, you know what, you right. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, no, bitch, you was doing you, I was doing me, chitty bang bang, it's about to go there.
Right.
Bitch, like that, right? But it wasn't until I seen the status from her, right?
Oh, shit.
Like in January, right? Me knowing how she felt about her mama and just hearing the stories about how me and her got together, she was just like, it was two people that I trusted, my nigga and my mama, they both let me down because I was trying to give both of them a chance. I let my guard down, we just do that. That made me depressed,
Messed up.
right?
Because you a good dude.
Yeah.
You know, that's where it go from.
Yeah,
You're a good dude.
See, that's where your depression. Boom. So your depression, see, that's crazy. See, it's different levels of depression.
My
Your
depression came
comes
from
being a good
somebody
dude.
else, yeah.
It'll help us.
Nah, I want a good dude. You know why? Because I cheated.
But
It doesn't
no,
matter.
it's not that. It's
Your
your
heart.
heart.
Your heart.
It was good dude because you
Your
felt
heart.
bad. You felt so bad that you hurt her. It fucked
Because
your
we
mental
human.
state.
We human.
First of all, we human, but it's
And a
about
lot of men
our
don't do this
heart.
shit. You know what I'm saying? A
lot of niggas like fuck.
Yeah, a lot of niggas like fuck that shit. But like, I always knew, right? and this is a deep part, right? My daddy got 14 kids, right? Check this out. I have 4 different baby mamas, right? So I always had in my mind that I never wanted to be like my daddy when I grew up, right? Like I never wanted to hurt nobody with this or that. But guess what the fuck I was doing? I was being just like my daddy when I grew the fuck up. So I noticed that I had to change my ways. Like my ex basically had to leave me in order for me to be like, alright, that nigga, it's time to get your shit together.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So my depression came from that. So that's why to this day, what helps me with my depression is helping somebody else do their depression. Because even after that, she never been to a concert.
Wow.
Her favorite artist is Beyonce. She never been on the boat ride. Guess what the fuck I did? Hey, Beyonce coming to Soldier Field, June. It was like 2016 because Beyonce came.
Know what you know?
Bought that motherfucker there.
You redeemed.
I redeemed myself.
You building grace.
Yeah, I built that
Grace.
grace.
Like,
Which
this
is
what
gonna
people
help you
don't- This is what
overcome
people
that.
don't understand. Grace cures all.
Yeah.
Grace.
Yeah.
Told y'all this here first.
That's where mine came from.
Grace. Like no matter, I ain't gonna say no matter what you do, don't be a fucked up person, but grace, like fuck vaccinations, fuck everything. It's all about grace. Just because somebody did something to you don't mean you gotta do it back to them.
Exactly.
You feel
Basically,
me?
don't fight fire with fire.
You feel
Right?
me? Grace, bro. Listen, grace, karma. This is why I'll never have to drop that album
That's why
because
he
it's a
will drop that
lifestyle. It's a
That's why he
lifestyle.
will drop that
Okay, I
album.
will. Grace, bro.
Yeah, I heard
grace,
that, right?
Grace heals everything, bro. Because grace is a blessing. Blessings is born out of grace. Blessings is born out of grace. Some people think they're lucky, but some people just really great as people. Or some people not really lucky, but they got a lot of grace. You feel me?
Yeah.
And God or whatever you believe in, understand that. And your test, listen, this get deep, but we ain't gonna talk
This
about
shit get
that.
deep. But guess
It
what
get
though?
deep.
So check this out, man.
Hey, you a good dude, man. I'm glad I had this.
Y'all some good dudes,
That's a
man.
funny freaking picture, by the way.
Hey,
but
it definitely is, bro. We go. That's another story.
They keep throwing
That's
me out.
another story.
I'm like, y'all, what is going on?
So check this out. So before we get out of here, right? So it's a little kid, right? At the age of 13, his name is Jamari Dent. So he tried to kill himself after being bullied by CPS students
And the teacher.
and teachers, right?
Teachers bullies too.
So this was, he said, it's a Jamari Dent who tried to kill himself after alleged bullying by CPS teachers has died at 13. So he tried to commit suicide when he was 11. So it's been 2 years. So he had to go through teachers, white teachers, telling him that he would not be shit in life, right? That what you say, he a pussy, he a bitch, he all these things, right?
He had a white teacher telling him he was a bitch.
With a kid, that stick with you because guess what? 1 out of every 6 child in America deal with mental health.
Yeah.
I got a question. After you finish with this
You know
cussing.
what I'm saying? So it say his mom said he was such a great fighter though. Jamari, mommy loves you. Don't break me. You're gonna get better, right? That's what she was telling him when he was receiving all these basically like they threats to me. Because if anybody said anything to me that I'm not really opposed to, it's a threat, it's a
Is that
conflict.
facts? Because
You know what I'm
it's-
saying?
you know what I'm saying?
Like, because the shit not facts at all. The shit is just whatever the fuck you think. Because it's a
Even
lot
if
of
you
people.
said you would never be able to do pod, like man, what you want to do that for?
Like,
That's a
what
threat.
you do? Like, you would never be-
you coming
you
at
never-
me,
you
you
never-
coming
you
at
know what I'm
my
saying?
self.
My ability to
You
be
coming at your
great.
mental health. That's
Right.
an attack to your mental health.
But this is where it comes sad at, right? It say teachers and students repeatedly call Jamari dumb, stupid, and retarded, and joke that he would end up in a facility, basically Hargrove, with people with mental health issues, right? With mental disabilities, right?
Dang.
It's a
At 11.
somebody come. So a white teacher told Jamari that he was stupid, dumb, and retarded. He was a dirty little inbred.
So he must have went to school and like he probably lived in a great
They
better
said
neighborhood.
she said he was a dirty
Better
little inbred
They ain't going in the hood.
and stupid and dumb.
Man.
So imagine you going through that shit at home, but like you already feel like that your mama and your siblings and like the people that's around you already treating you like shit.
Hey, watch this.
And then going to school where you think it's a fucking safe haven.
And it gonna happen.
And your teacher who's supposed to be there to really protect you and basically teach you everything that you need to fucking know about school, life, and they do that shit to you.
But you know what's fucked up?
Like-
That didn't just happen when he was 11. Probably happened when he was in kindergarten.
It happened
Because
way
guess
before
what-
that.
guess what
It's
the teacher do? kindergarten. Then the teacher's now, oh, I got this badass little kid. Then that shit goes to first grade. Then it goes to second grade. They already prepping you for the kids that they need to
we date teachers, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
I have dated another story. Go ahead.
Say this.
But check this out though. This is what becomes interesting, right? So it says that basically the principal, assistant principal, basically the big administrators of the establishment of the school knew what Jamari was going through, but guess what? They decided to protect their employees.
They should go to jail.
Instead of protecting the young child.
They should go to jail.
Right?
And they should be held responsible.
So imagine what we go through. Imagine what we go through as little kids, right?
Yeah.
Jamari already knew that he was getting bullied. He already knew that everybody was against him, shit like that. But he didn't really know what it was because he was never taught what it was, right? So like, this is what it get deep for me, right? Because I don't got kids, but I got a lot of nieces and nephews and shit. So like, when I see people treating kids, it make me feel some way because I'm like, that could be my child, right? So it's like, don't treat the people that you're supposed to be teaching like shit, right? And then like, you go on because it's I'm feeling that shit right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, take that shit. You know what I'm saying? But like, don't do that shit to kids, right? Because like, the kids are our future, right? The kids are going to be taking care of us when we get older, right? So it's like, even at the age of 23, we can shit. My nephew 3 right now. He loves uncle. I'm 30, right? That means that I'm 27 years older than him, right? But guess what? When I'm 57, then they gonna be how old? 27. So he gonna be doing the same shit that I'm doing to my grandparents, to me as his uncle did.
Actually, be 30.
You know what I'm saying? He would. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's why 1 out of every 6 child go through mental health, right? And y'all see that it's getting me emotional because I'm very passionate about this mental health shit.
Bro, you just made me realize something, bro. This shit is personal.
You know what I'm saying?
You just made me realize something right now. I can't, this shit so deep, I ain't about to share this on camera. Because I'll be telling on myself.
And the sad part about it is, right? The mom, check this out, the mom of Jamari, she provided unlimited mental health counseling and shit to him. You know what I'm saying? While he was going through his suicidal attempt, right? And so like, imagine you can all the help that you need, right? And then finally, you basically probably came to terms with yourself. God knew that it was your time to go. So he just like, God has a purpose, right? God was probably like, man, I know even though you know how to cope with it, and I know you know how to deal with it, but you're gonna go through this shit throughout your whole life. So I'm gonna just take you from that pain, right? And this is anxiety a little bit, but it's a lot of mental health shit because we never met God like how we say that we met him. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying nigga on the point of that he'll do it. Right? So you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so that's how it is, alright? So it's like, imagine your mom giving you all the help that you need and then you still not getting all the help that you need.
Let me ask you something.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you think, knowing that let's take it, because I've seen how much you care about your nephew. You even dressed up as Spider-Man recently. You feel me? So, let me ask something. Do you think when his name's Jamari, right? Not your nephew, but him.
Jamari.
When Jamari was going through that, should the mother have been a little bit more proactive and got him out that jam? When he first brought that to her attention, I was going to like switch.
Can I say this? Hold on, wait.
Yeah, get him out of school or the district and stuff like that.
Let me say this. Now, this is that. Remember how we was. How old is he? 13. When did that happen?
He was 13 when he died.
Yeah,
but he was 11 when the
wait,
mental health shit.
No, but listen. How old was he when he died?
13.
When did he die?
Like last week.
He died last week, so he was 13. How old was his mother? So you gotta understand, his mother probably the same age as us. We never knew how to deal with stuff as parents. So how can we teach our children?
No. I think his mom was a little bit older, so that's how she knew.
Was able to kind of help him. Because she didn't get him help.
She had to help. Like a lot of people that's our age, we think that therapy is just, I don't want nobody in my business, but really therapy can like really fucking help you if you take it
It
serious.
seems kind of like a movie. Like we look at therapy, we only saw the shit on movies. B.
Very true.
That's
You know what I'm
fine.
saying?
You know what, Zoto? I went to therapy one time. Well, like 2 or 3 times, right?
Uh-huh.
I was so bad in school and so manipulative that I knew what to tell the teachers or the administrators to leave me the fuck alone, right? So they literally told my mother, we don't know what to do with your son. We don't know what to do with him.
You know what?
He knows everything that whatever we want to hear, he tells us exactly what we want to hear. They just didn't know what to do with it. So they had me going to this therapist. So I'm going to the therapist like 2, 3 times, and the questions that they're asking me is a little weird, but I'm just answering them, giving them whatever answer they want. My mom happens, I think the 3rd or 4th session, they bring my mom in on a one-on-one, and they asked my mama, so what age was he when he started getting sexually abused? My mom said he ain't never been sexually. What kind of fucking therapist found out the school was sending me to a therapist for sexually abuse? My mother would never let me go to another therapist again.
So,
Like for real, fucked up.
I thought that your mom had all these concerns because she once seen you with a mustache and now you got it.
Yeah. Well, that's a
I thought
concern
that-
for everyone in my household at this
You know what I'm
point.
saying? So,
Can I? So
you know what I'm saying?
I want to leave.
So we're gonna leave with this. We're gonna leave with this. This is how you cope with depression, right? It's a reach out
Screensaver.
and stay connected.
I appreciate you, by the way.
Reach
y'all.
hey, check this out. Hey, reach out and stay connected, right? So if I'm going through some depressing shit and I know you going through it, and all 3 of us can help each other with that shit, we reach out to each other and we stay connected with those people who going through the same shit we're going through. Because guess what? I always preach this. If you ain't going through depression, if you ain't going through anxiety, if you ain't going through nothing that's mental health, you can't tell me shit about what the fuck I'm going through. Because you're gonna judge me, you're gonna try to tell me about myself, even though I know about myself, but you can't do none of that shit.
That's right.
That's one way to deal with that shit, right? The second way to deal with it is to get moving. So get moving basically means that,
Transmute your depression into progression.
yes, that, you know what I'm saying? So if you're an artist, transmission your pain into your music.
Transmute
You know
your
what I'm
pain
saying?
into flame.
Transmission your blood into your sweat, into your motherfucking tears.
Yeah.
Right? And then that shit grow into years. You know what I'm saying?
Bars.
If you having to ride through the suburb and seeing a lot of deers. Alright?
Motherfucker, shots,
So, you
cheers.
know what I'm saying? So, alright, so tip number 4 is eat a healthy depression fighting diet. Right?
Yeah.
So asparagus.
You got me messed up. I'm
You
pissing
gotta
on y'all
eat
niggas. Look at the chain.
minimize sugars and refined carbs, right?
Yeah.
You might crave all the sugary snacks, all the shit that you think that's gonna make you feel good. But guess what? Sugar basically intoxicates you to have all this fucking energy to where it's
And
not
then guess what it turns
Right.
into? It turns into fat. Now you sloppy.
Yeah.
Thirdly, get a daily dose of sunlight. So even though it's
Get your
hot as
vitamin-
fuck outside,
Vitamin D.
find that one motherfucking spot outside of your crib where it's shade at, but then there's sunlight.
Listen, look, go get your vitamin D, baby. You don't gotta be depressed. Go get your vitamin D, baby.
Tip number 6, challenge negative thoughts, right? We always wake up with the mindset of today is not gonna be a good day, right? If we wake up with that mindset, guess what? Today is not gonna be a good day.
Check this out.
They gonna be good.
Check
You
this
check
out.
this out
No, no,
after,
no.
after this. Check this
Attitude
out.
is attitude.
Alright, so like your negative shit, it gotta turn into positive because if you thinking negatively, like you gonna surround yourself around negative people.
Absolutely.
If you think positively, you gonna surround yourself around positive people, and that's the word where manifestation come in. At. If you manifest that today gonna be a good day, if you wake up that today gonna be a good day, if you wake up think I ain't gonna get into it with nobody, guess what the fuck you gonna do?
Not get into it, you know.
Anything that your mouth speak, anything that your mouth speak, because it's so powerful.
Absolutely.
You know, that's what it's gonna be.
Absolutely.
So if you say you're the greatest, you're gonna be the greatest.
So we're gonna end right here, right? So this is Men's Mental Health Month, episode 4. especially with my co-host,
Dirty Eagle, baby.
and then my boy
The
Ocho
dirty
Cinco.
Eagle.
The dirty.
Why you keep saying stop
My
saying
boy Ocho Cinco.
Stop saying Ocho.
Ocho Mexico. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I'm about to. I ain't gonna disrespect you, Ocho Cinco, man. But you know what I mean?
So we're gonna end it right there, right? So make sure y'all continue to check on your strong friends, right? Check on your strong kids, right? Because 1 out of every 6 child deal with depression, deal with anxiety, deal with, you know what I'm saying, suicide thoughts, everything like that. It's a suicide hotline. Just click that link below and you will be able to tell what the suicide hotline is, right? But as men, I'm gonna leave y'all with this, right? As men, we can always protect our mental health, right? You may think that when you being selfish, that it's selfish and that whoever you being selfish to don't deserve that shit, but if your mental health not right, you can't do shit to help your wife, your kid. You can't do shit because guess what? Your mental health ain't right. What about if you was the provider of the family? If your mental health ain't right, you can't go to work. So you can't provide for your family.
That can make you more depressed.
Right.
So protect your mental health at all costs. It's okay to not be okay. Check on the show.
You gotta be great. So let me say one thing though. Let me let y'all know it's another level of depression. Sometimes people feel so